Now, usually, I try to make videos that inspire you to travel or chase your dreams, and I'd much rather you watch those. But I do realize that a lot of times chasing your dreams end up becoming a business. So I thought I'd lend a helping hand, or two.
Now we get to talk about the DuPont Identity. And I have to apologize ahead of time. This may be a little long only because I'm going to walk you through the thought process that I go through whenever I think of the DuPont Identity. It is a big deal, okay? Think of the DuPont Identity as the scorecard for your business, for our business, okay? Are we doing a good job? We have competition, right? And competition is going to be doing whatever it is they do to sell as many products as they can and to collect as much money as they can. And now I always imagined the DuPont Identity to be this fancy place, this magic building, right? Where they give you a score, an industry dependent score, I should add, that says, okay, you get an A plus this period, you get a B this period, because based on what everyone else is doing, this is what we see. Okay, so the DuPont Identity is a big deal to me because it is the scorecard of my business. Imagine you were in a classroom, all right? You are competing. Technically, that's what you're doing in a classroom. You're competing with the other students. At the end of the day, you want to graduate on top of your class. The DuPont Identity tells you not only who graduates on top of the class, but also where they were the strongest, where the others were the weakest. So to my next point on the DuPont Identity, again, I believe in the beginning of this series, I mentioned that for me, the statement of cash flows was the most important when it comes to actually understanding the success of a business. And that's only because I really do believe cash is king. And I want to know where it is that you're bringing in the most cash and where it is you're losing cash. But we mentioned on the statement of cash flow. So please keep up with this because it's going to be important for you to remember the DuPont Identity, that the statement of cash flow had the operating activities, the investing activities, and the financing activities, right? But what do those things really entail? Operating activities. Are we good at actually collecting money from our customers and then putting some in our pocket? Investing activities. Are we good at having more stuff? Remember, our investing activities was mostly concerned with long-term investments, right? But it really is just about having more stuff that we're able to use. And then there was the financing activities, which really is just, okay, if you think of finance, what is finance really? It's really just funding the things we have. Where's the money going to come from? Are we going to use equity, money we own, or are we going to borrow? Right? And that's all the financing activities on the cash flows mentioned. So if you can remember the key characters on the statement of cash flows, again, operating, investing, assets, and financing, then you're well on your way to tattooing the meaning of the DuPont Identity in your brain. So this is what I do whenever I want to remember the DuPont Identity. So I know it's a scorecard. I know that at the end of the day, everything I do will be broken up into three: my operations, my asset management, and my financial leverage. Those different terms for corresponding parts of the statement of cash flows. And I know that this score in my industry is going to be different for every single competitor. And I'm going to be able to compare with others and say, okay, this is, you were really, you, Mark, owner of Mark Company, you were really good at managing your assets. And you, Bobo, you're so good at managing your financial leverage. You know when to borrow money and you know when to actually use your equity, right? So I say in DuPont Identity that there are three women that come in to the building, I should say, to grade you. The first woman, she comes in our casual outfit. She wants to blend in with everyone. She checks in on the marketing department. She checks in on our salespeople. She makes sure that our inventory is stocked up and she gives us a grade. But she's really focused at the end of the day on our profit margin. So in her casual outfit, she comes in with her profit margin scorecard and she just looks at basically net income over sales, how much we're able to collect and what chunk of what we're able to collect we're able to put in our pocket. So please keep up with this because I'm not going to use a numerical example. I just want you to understand what's going on with the DuPont Identity. All right. So the first lady is only worried about operations. How much are we able to put in our pocket as a result of doing our day-to-day activities? And then the second lady, the asset lady, now she's wearing overalls. She's wearing Tim's. She's wearing, Tim's, I don't know. She's wearing boots, all right? Workable boots. She's going out to the trenches and she's exploring everything we have. If we own some land, she's checking every inch of it. And then she's giving us a scorecard. It's going to be the total asset ratio turnover scorecard. And that's just how much money are we collecting from our customers as a result of everything she's been able to explore, everything we have. So our land, our property, equipment, she inspects every single thing we have. And she says, how good are you collecting money? And of course, all she's going to care about is this card. This is her main trump card. If she gives us a B+, it's because compared to everyone else in the industry, we're only at a B level when it comes to managing our assets, when it comes to collecting money from our customers as a result of the things we have, right? And then the last lady, I always picture, so first lady's casual, she's dressed business casual. Second lady is wearing overalls and boots, and she's rugged, she's just ready to actually dig her hands into our business. The last lady, okay, she's finance. Okay, she's dressed just inch perfect business person. Okay, well pressed suit, nice pencil skirt. She looks like the ultimate professional, and she's worried, okay, just about how is it we're actually paying for things. All right, it's finance, right? And for her, all she cares about is us, the business owner. She doesn't want to spend all our money. We have to be able to borrow because, in her opinion, she comes from the Keynesian, I guess I should say, way of economics, where she actually likes the idea of borrowing to actually stimulate an economy. So she thinks, look, you should be able to borrow, all right? If you actually know what you're talking about and you believe in your investments, then you shouldn't mind borrowing. You shouldn't want to sacrifice your own money. So remember what we said about the equity multiplier, that magic box where you put $1 in, you close it, you open it, you want to see how much more stuff you have now as a result of opening that box, the equity multiplier. That's what she's concerned about, okay? Every time she loves that box. Okay, she wants to see you put $10 in the box and all of a sudden you have $100 worth of stuff. So this is her scorecard, the equity multiplier. All right, and everything here just boils down to return on equity. How much money are we able to put in our pocket as a result of our own money that we're sacrificing, which is really the business. Because when you go into business, you're going to sacrifice not only your time, well, mostly time and money. That's the basis of economics, right? So you're going to sacrifice your time, but also you're going to sacrifice your money. But you don't want to put too much of your money in. You just want to keep stuffing new money in your pocket and not spending too much of your money. And the DuPont Identity says, how good are you at doing that? So we have our three ladies. When they come together, okay, this is basically what the DuPont analysis is. Really just the return on equity all broken down. So I can compare from industry to, across the industry, company to company, whatever my return on equity is, this breaks it down another level. So I can say, all right, my return on equity is 10%. His return on equity is 15%. What is it that he's doing right? So we would look at the profit margin times the total asset turnover ratio times the equity multiplier. I would look at those individually. So my profit margin may be 15%, his may be 30%, whatever. You could just make up any number. And then I would also compare his turnover ratio to my turnover ratio. I'd compare his equity multiplier to my equity multiplier. It would result in whatever the return on equity is. And then we can start picking apart where we need to improve. That's how the DuPont Identity works, okay? It's basically a grade of how well you're able to put all the key aspects of business together, which for me, you can always find in the statement of cash flows, right? Operations, we need a grade. Hopefully we're A+. We're very good at collecting money and putting it in our pocket from our customers. Investing, okay? And then financing. Now, why do I keep saying it's really just return on equity? Because we remember, well, let me just keep these up here. Bring this down here a little bit. Return on equity, we already memorized what different ratios mean just by listening to what they're called, right? So return on equity must mean net income. Whoa, that's off, Crane. Net income over equity. I have no idea why I just stopped. Well, I do. I just stopped because I was trying to figure out the way to connect these for you. Okay, so this is really return on equity, ROE, and I said this is the basis of the DuPont identity, right? So we have the cards that the three ladies really use: profit margin, okay, total asset turnover, and the equity multiplier. Now look at this. If we cancel out sales, if we're multiplying, right, we're going to cancel out sales, then we're going to cancel out total assets. What's going to be left over? Net income over total equity. That's ROE. I'm trying to keep everything in frame here so you're able to see what magically just happened. So of course, that's why we're going to break once we're done comparing company to company, what every company is doing for ROE, we look at the individual results for the profit margin, the total asset turnover ratio, and the equity multiplier, and we're able to see where are we lacking. Do we need to actually borrow more, risk more? Because it looks like we are good at collecting money. Our profit margin says so. But our return on equity is not as good as the next company, but it looks like they just borrow more. And they're not really getting in trouble borrowing, so maybe we should start borrowing. Or maybe we need to stop sitting on all that cash and use it to purchase some long-term investments. Maybe we have to start expanding our property, buy some new equipment. The ones we have they're completely out of date. We're not collecting enough money from our customers as a result. Okay, so I kind of feel guilty because I want you to be able to see everything all together. So let's just see how this how the DuPont identity turns into ROE really quickly, and then that'll be the end of it. Okay, because you know how to calculate these. We've made videos for each of these already. So net income profit margin is NI. I'm just gonna keep it that way. Most people do, over sales. All right, times total asset turnover, which is sales, over assets, all your assets, right? Then equity multiplier, which is your total assets, okay, over equity. And we know that net income over equity is equal to ROE, right? So we're just gonna put ROE here, just so we could always, so we already know what's gonna happen. But how is it that we're getting to that? Because we're going to cancel this, mathematics. Sales is going to cancel out with sales. Assets going to cancel out with assets. The numerator here is going to be NI, net income, and the denominator is going to be equity. Well, look at that. ROE equals net income over equity. Okay, so really the key for me, always remembering the DuPont identity, is just remembering that it's a grade, okay? And it's a grade. I personally love the statement of cash flows. So it's easy for me to realize that. It's easy for me to at least think that that's where I'm going to get my grade from as a business. So first, in the statement of cash flows, we're going to be looking at operating activities. The profit margin is the card that the lady who likes to investigate our day-to-day activities. She's all dressed business casual. This is what she's going to use. This is her trump card. And then our lady in overalls who's not afraid to get dirty and go into our business, okay? She's going to leave if she has to. She wants to find where our factory is actually located. She doesn't mind inspecting all our equipment and getting her hands greasy. But this is her trump card, the total asset turnover, because after she inspects everything, she wants to know how good we are at actually collecting money as a result. I should have said as well that the business casual lady here, our profit margin lady, she just wants to know how good we are actually keeping money in our pocket after collecting money from our customers. And then finally, our finance lady, she wants to make sure we're not spending a lot of our own money to get stuff. Because if we have stuff, she just thinks, well, look, this is 2000 and ... All right? You shouldn't be spending your own money to be successful. Use someone else's money. You say you actually know that this investment is solid and it's going to guarantee this return, then why are you afraid to use borrowed money? Because if you are that confident about your investment, then you're going to make the money back no matter what. So keep your money and use someone else's money. And when you put it all together, that's the DuPont identity. It's really ROE. How good am I at putting money in my pocket as a result of using the money that I own. All right, that's it. Hopefully it made sense to you. And again, you're able to plug the numbers in just like we've been doing all series long. But for this particular video, I really wanted you to be able to walk through a thought process. I want you to feel how important the DuPont identity was. And if you're comparing company to company, the DuPont identity is a great start. And hopefully you understand why now. It really does break things apart for you so you can isolate and actually focus on what it is you're doing correctly and what it is that your competition may be doing better than you. Maybe they run the operations better, maybe they invest better, and maybe they're just financing better. They don't have to rely on sacrificing their own hard-earned money to be successful. All right, that's it, guys.
Thank you so much for watching. Turning a dream into a reality usually ends up becoming your business. That is why we have the Helping Hands videos. Subscribe, like, and feel free to leave a comment below. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Fans of Kindness, our Facebook page, is also waiting for you. See you in the next video. Until then, be your best and never stop learning.